time, just like we have in the past. Because is that really babble, or is that like blurble or something?
Blurbles.
I like Chris's name right now. It's all lowercase except for the last letter.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I've done that before, but no, I don't think anybody's really noticed.
I've noticed now. I noticed now. Like,
yeah.
I have never noticed that.
I don't know if anybody else is monitoring.
I don't think anybody's
Is
really
Mason
noticed what the name
monitoring
is
this
either.
there, Master?
What?
Does Mason
That's
know when we're
Nikola
starting?
Tesla.
Was he listening before or not?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think he's just upstairs doing
very,
stuff.
it's very fitting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I don't know if it's on or not because my wife, who claims to have been listening, isn't answering me. So,
Ooh.
yeah, it's all my fault.
It says it's live just now on.
It is?
Yep.
Fantastic.
On,
hey, I think we're live. All right, let me press a
So-
button to do that and see what happens. I think that was loud. It was loud for me at least this time. You guys, I don't know if you can hear it as loud as I can. We'll wait to fade out for a few seconds here, but we are here. We are Adventures from the Stream. We are live, and we welcome you to our show. We're going to go around the table a little quick here and say hi, and we'll start with that person up there.
Hey, it's Chris. I'm playing Alstet Elikin, gnome Warlock of Wonder.
Oh, wonder.
Hey, it's Esther. I'll be playing Alistair Ashworthy, the Halfling Paladin.
Hi, everybody. It's Randy. I'll be playing Tusk Boulder Smash, the half-orc barbarian.
And I, last but not least, am Jason. I'll be playing the Tiefling Sorcerer Marty Shimmerwick.
And I am laster but not leaster, Joe. I am the dungeon master for this Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign set in our world of Courageous. When we last left off, Jason was giving us a recap.
Previously on Fs.
Yes, well, previously on Adventures from the Stream, the group had successfully gotten passage on the ship to go to Bellshire, much to the chagrin of the rest of the group here, where we had to fork out a obscene amount of coin. But during this travel, Tusk was approached by a few of the crew members,
Dante.
and there you go. And he was made aware that those crew members were part of a certain pack, and their alpha, Adam was currently somebody they were no longer in favor for, and they were planning on killing us and bringing Tusk into their crew. Tusk then challenged Adam into a one-on-one combat, which started off a little shaky at first, but through the successful cheering on of Marty, who was really the MVP of the match, he was able to find the strength to win out, and is now the new pack alpha, and is continuing to push us forward towards Bellshire.
Couldn't do without you, Marty.
Exactly. I know you
Definitely
couldn't. I know you couldn't have done it without Marty.
So we're on the boat, and just a quick recap of what we can see. This is the vessel that you guys are currently sailing on, and it is loaded up with lumber headed to Port Fairhaven. However, you guys booked passage for the boat to get you to Bellshire first, and then it was going to go on to Fairhaven. In the first night of the trip, going down the main river that leads to the ocean, was when the scuffle that Marty made sure was successful, when that happened. So you still have just over 4 days of travel to Bellshire, and we talked a bit outside of game about how we were going to handle this, and Randy had a lot of the bits, I think, that are going to bring this together. So let's talk through a montage of the next 4 days of travel to Bellshire and what that looks like aboard the boat.
Okay, so there are several things that Tusk would like to go ahead and try to either talk to you or do with this new Wolven clan of his, as well as his group, and you'd bring them to discussion with it. So first thing he would like to do is he would like to talk to the pack about how it is they, or at least Adam, had control of his transformation and would seek out how it is he was able to control it. He'd also like to know how they avoided ripping each other apart, or if that is because they have a alpha which controls their violent actions from changing them, like what we found out in the town that we first stumbled upon with the werewolves, and how it looked like they were maybe possibly killing each other. I don't know. We just saw claw marks on the sides of buildings and whatnot.
Okay, so one of the things that I'll do, and this is a lot of the way fifth edition mechanics works for the lycanthropy. Specifically, it says when somebody is first infected, they can either choose to go with it or to fight against it. And essentially, if you go with it, you become a full blown lycanthrope, and you can switch between the different forms, right? So the way that works is they all just gave into it, and they're able to control it because they accept who they are, and that's what they are. But that also brings all the weaknesses that come along with it as well, right? So when it comes to them and how that works as a pack, they just obey whoever the alpha is, and it's a pact within the pack. All right, they don't break any rules, which is why none of them could fight against Adam. They wanted to, but they were hoping for someone to come along to do it for them, which was Tusk. So that worked out well for them. And what they want out of this now is they just want the new alpha, which is Tusk, essentially to tell them what to do. They're a pack of followers, and they need somebody to tell them what to do.
Okay, so having accepted their lycanthropy transformation and whatnot, does that mean that they are incurable now?
I honestly don't know how that goes for 5th edition, but I will tell you for our purposes today, yes. They have no desire to not be what they are.
Okay. So that would take up probably maybe a few hours of probably one of the days. So,
I mean, that plus if you're asking them how you could control it yourselves, there would be probably some long, heartfelt, conversations about, giving in. And so far you've been fighting it because you want to stay, I think, who Tusk is. But they all have their own stories. And of course, they'll open up to you because you're the boss. But they all have their own stories about how they were recruited and how they became part of the pack. And they're very happy right up until they think the boss is, doing something counterproductive. And in their case, the whole story with Adam was he got, I guess one way to put it would be he got too power hungry when it came to personnel. He just wants more and more people on the boat because he just got a power trip over being the alpha of the pack. And this boat doesn't need any more crew. So the crew started to rebel and started telling him, look, we really don't need more and more people. We're losing money. We're splitting things too many ways. There's not enough place to sleep on the boat, etc. And that's why half of the crew was unhappy with him at the time that this all happens. And he was wanting to bring you on as well because he already could tell that you had been bitten and you could be controlled.
Yes, he would have to change his name to Greg or something like that to have the alphabet. Okay, so Tusk at this time has no interest in continuing to just be a lycanthrope, but he knows that if he does get cured, he's not going to be, the pack leader anymore because he's no longer lycanthrope. That's not, always transforming or whatever. So at this time, he's not going to bother. He's just going to accept that this is the curse that he currently has, but he's not going to let it control him.
Okay.
So he's just going to play the role for now. Let's see. Other things that I had suggested was he would like to practice like spar fighting with them to test their personal combat experience, and would run tests to test team contests for fun to see how they work together as a team. So he talked to his allies and them as well to go and just practice, maybe get some experience and see how they fight, and maybe we can learn some things as well about how werewolves fight that way.
So I would say it's going to take a day or so of you talking to them and your party. So with Marty, Allie, and Alset, before they really start to get comfortable with your party. So first off, during the trip, they didn't like the idea that Allset had started messing with the hardware on their boat because the captain said to go ahead and do it. Adam said it was okay, but excuse me, the crew didn't necessarily care for it. So it takes them a little time to warm up to your friends. But if you want, if you want to gauge them, how would you do that? Is that something between your party and the crew, the wear crew, or how would you want to do that? I'd like to see other people getting involved too.
Yeah, he would talk to his crew, see what they thought would be best to handle the meeting of the groups, how best to discuss with them, and he would also individually talk to the pack and let them know that it's okay that Alset, messes with that now. I mean, he was already given permission before, so
Yeah.
continue to work on that. That's fine. It's they may not like Adam doing that, but this is Tusk's friend who knew them longer. He doesn't care that they do what they were already doing. They're not hurting anybody, and
Right.
it's beneficial for them in the long run.
And they'd tell you that the reason they were upset with it to begin with is it's their only large form of range defense on the boat. And as soon as Adam told Allset he could mess with it, and he started taking things apart and, screwing this to that and remounting things, they're like, in their head, it's like just another stupid thing that Adam's doing that's compromising the boat. So they weren't happy with it to begin with, but they can warm up to it shortly, especially once you're in charge and you explain the situation.
Yeah, and he would do that. He would explain that Alset means no harm with this dismantling, but he's actually making improvements upon it. So,
Is that true that Allset means no harm?
oh, he probably does, but
I can neither confirm
Not
or
to
deny
them,
those
at least.
accusations.
Right now.
So what do you do to test their metal?
he'd probably have them set up on one side of the ship while Tusk and his team set up on the other side, and Tusk would tell them that they can spar with them on this. So hopefully they're able to attack him, but they would just work on tactics and try to be stealthy near each other. Maybe do a capture the flag ordeal and whatnot. Just kind of a fun exercises to go and keep them on their toes.
A white knuckle game of rock, paper, scissors.
Pretty much.
Are they good at fetch?
Ha ha! Hey-o.
We don't line up
1
and do
point for
Roshan,
Allie.
Uh,
She keeps throwing sticks over the side of the boat just to see what'll happen.
Just throws a stick. Very interesting.
So let's do a couple of things here to gauge their prowess. What do we want to roll for this as a leader trait? So I'm looking at persuasion, perhaps. What else kind of fits there? Because you're trying to get them to show how good they are.
I like tag.
Animal handling.
Animal handling, that's not bad. Yeah.
oh man.
I mean, especially if you've got it.
I'm better in where is it? Nope, I'm actually just the same in persuasion. I was thinking perception.
I thought you got like intimidation bonuses there.
I think I do.
I mean, especially because they're subservient, intimidation isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I do have a check next to intimidation, so I can roll
Yeah.
that if you would like.
I think when the when the pack leader in a wolf pack nips at one of the others, that's more intimidation than persuasion.
He's like, so Tusk is just biting them right now, like in the
Yeah.
neck.
Yeah,
They're not in wolf form, but he's just doing it. That's,
yeah,
okay.
that's it. Yeah,
He's a bigger
Marty's gonna
guy,
draw that.
but-
Marty's gonna draw this down here.
he is going to get him dinner though. I mean,
Now, being the pack leaders, I roll with advantage.
it sounds like it now that you've said it.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that.
It's about time. Well, I guess that's still okay. I mean, you did get a 11 on one of the dice. So overall, you can tell they can handle themselves. There's a reason why these guys haven't been taken over by pirates or anything. They know what they're doing, especially when they can switch between, human, hybrid, and full werewolf forms. They know how to do that to their advantage. They're not superheroes, but they're definitely more than capable deckhands who can keep this boat defended when needed. And they definitely want to know how to use the changes to the contraption that Alset put on their harpoon.
We would
Mhm, mhm.
discuss with Alset to have him come up with something. Make him a fake little lesson about it and give him as many details as they need to know.
I mean, I'll show him everything. I mean, we're going to be leaving this boat, I assume, so we're going to need to know how to do things.
Yeah.
Especially if I
unless
have to have all
the-
this extra features on it that Marty wants. You know,
Yeah, that's another thing. What are we
Yeah.
doing with
So-
that stuff?
So after the day of frivolity that Tusk has, I would pull him aside and I would go over some unique business opportunities that we could have with this boat now and with this crew to generate more income, and that there's probably more money to be made in turning this into a party boat that could again promote the Crimson Minotaur brand.
That is a strong possibility. I have no qualms with that. I was actually thinking of possibly ferrying for them to continue to get money, people across the ocean, or continue making
Exactly.
supply runs. So,
Exactly, Tusk, old boy. And let me tell you something here. If we can get Allie to put down some recipes that they could perfect using Crimson Minotaur, as a flavor seasoning and things like that here, it could be just quite the lucrative event. I mean, I imagine for her cookies, her Crimson Minotaur flavored cookies, those things right there, we could sell those at least for one gold a piece here. I mean, we're looking to bring on the whales here when it comes down to the clientele.
Like the
Crimson Minotaur
recipes aren't
edibles.
already perfected.
Yes, all set, old man. Yes, you got it right
Yeah.
there.
maybe we get some Crimson Minotaur pipe weed too.
There we go.
I can go for some of that.
There we go. I like that here. I mean, Tusk, what do you think, old man? This is not to rain on your parade here, but this is your crew now, and I would assume your vessel.
that sounds good to me. So as long as the money's getting shipped back to that family. So, previously stated, I send most of my income back there.
Oh, of course.
I
And then
have a debt. I have a human debt to pay.
What are you
Understood.
gonna christen this ship there, Tusk?
yes,
He's a new name.
and I would roll out in my journal that because I've been drawing out things for the past day and a half while Tusk has been doing this, the images of the newly rebranded ship, and with the sails now in the nice crimson and gold colors with the Minotaur logo on there, and then on the very top sail it says just "Too busy to die" on it. Crimson Minotaur Cruises. And then it has, the information, the URLs that they can go to book cruises and things like that. Where to send their messenger pigeons to get their tickets and things, and
Sounds like Marty has it well planned out. So
of course
we can
of
call
course.
it the SS Cruise Liner,
Yes. And-
Crimson Minotaur, whatever.
and
you
then-
wanna call it.
And then before Tusk delivers this news to his crew here, I would spend some time because again, Marty, being a charismatic leader himself of men and women, would try to teach him on how to publicly speak to his people. That way, he can encourage them to full-heartedly grasp this new business concept and venture and see the profitability versus ferrying just some lumber back and forth across the ocean.
Sounds like a plan to my character.
Mhm.
So, as far as the whole rebranding bit, that'll take some time. You'll probably have to work with a couple of different places, and we can do all of that as kind of a side story. But I can see that definitely happening and just taking some time and money. Which it sounds like as long as you can keep the shipping going there, Tusk, that you'll be able to get the money you need to make these changes.
Tell you what, Marty, you write up everything, paint jobs, sales, whatever.
Oh, of course.
We'll send them on their way to Port, whatever, Fairhaven. Was it Port?
Port
Yeah,
Fairhaven.
And when they come back, you have the documents for them to hand in to Thol Rava, and they'll get the adjustments in the ship sorted right away.
Excellent, old man. I have it all right here for you. I have several finely written scrolls that I present to Tusk.
And Tusk will write a little letter the best he can. Not the best with English, but common, whatever. Written language. So, but he can do basic stuff, his tribal work, whatever, and write it down for the Thol Rava to know, the people there to know what to do, and he'll make sure that they have the money to go have it done, as well as more money to make sure it's done speedily, so we can get them back to hopefully meet us.
So, how do you get that message there?
well, hopefully they'll travel there and drop off their cargo, and then go to Kol Riva with the papers, and they'll deliver it to a person on leave that usually stays at the dock and watches it.
Okay. So they're just, you want them, excuse me, you want the crew to bring the message back or to
Pretty
them
much.
on their
That's why
way.
Tusk
Okay.
is going to write up a document to in Orcish, so that they'll know what to, or half Orcish. I think it's Orcish. Yeah. So they know what modifications to do, and that it is from their own kin. So they shouldn't have any issue with it. And if they do, there's plenty of coins they're going to have with them. So. And if it's too expensive, then we'll just have them do it anyway, and then we'll have to pay them back in a percentage of what it is.
I'm sure a deal can be worked out, whether it's too expensive or not. I'm sure they can find a way to pay the bill. Right. Now, what did you say? What the name of the boat was going to become, or have we determined that?
Marty was talking about cruise line or something.
Well, something cruise
Rowan?
lines, but what's the name of the boat?
Yeah, we need a cool name.
Yeah.
I'll think upon that before we disbark
Okay.
and come up with something. I didn't even really think about it.
Like Bad Moon Rising or something like that.
Crimson Moon Rising.
Yeah. Yeah. Crimson Moon.
There you go. The other thing that would come up during this time is Emmett, the guy who used to be the soldier who had a small connection with Allie, would want to talk to Allie some about why is she hanging around with these non-military folk?
What's a night like you doing around people like this?
Exactly. It's a brave.
Tusk was just a mercenary. Never mind. He's not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, to me at least, it would be clear that, especially because of the attitudes and the equipment, it would seem like Allie is the only one with the full-on military type training and background.
Understandable.
Better not be talking about your leader Falny over there.
Excuse me?
Talk about you.
Not you.
Now, to clarify, Emmett is or is not also a werewolf? All of them are?
They are all, yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
he was part of an elite guard at a different city before problems happened, and he ended up working at the shipyard and then became part of this crew.
Gotcha. Honestly, she'll just explain to him that it was kind of a weird time, weird place. She was not necessarily taking a break, but especially with everything that had gone on with, her hometown and her sister, she really just wanted to kind of get out and travel. And with her mother being kind of like a traveling merchant, she hasn't been able to really contact her all that much or find her since. So she really just wanted a chance to get out and help some outlying towns, and hopefully during that get some news or information on it, and kind of just ran into these guys in the meantime, and it just sounded like something fun on the side to start, and now she's stuck with them in the most endearing way possible.
So Emmett has some hardships in his background as well, so there's a little bit of a connection there where he feels like even though the crew he ended up with, being all werewolves on a boat, is a little different from the crew you ended up with. You both started at a spot where things were happy, and while he was working as a guardsman, there was an overthrow of the people he was working for, and he had been run to ground, and he kind of ran away, lost everything he had, and ended up working on the docks at the shipyard. And one day was recruited onto this boat and then became part of the pack. So he found a place to belong, a little different insofar as he was kind of forced into it, but has been happy since then. And he hopes that you are happy with the oddball crew that you have chosen as well.
So now he was or was not already a werewolf
He was
when
not.
he joined?
Yeah. He
okay,
was
so
not.
they
Yeah.
turned him.
Yeah. He was turned just like Tusk was going to be. He was added to the crew. So he's like I say, he says he's happy now. He seems to be happy, and the whole crew is actually in much better spirits now that Tusk took over. Even those who had supported Adam can kind of see that, at least so far, Tusk doesn't want to change what they're doing. He wants to let them go about running the boat without necessarily having some kind of heavy-handed leader on board. So right now they seem to be pretty happy with it, and we'll see how it turns out.
Fair enough.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to establish or get finished before we get to Bellshire?
Yes, Tusk would have ran through with Marty and Alistair and Elset to see what they wanted to go and discuss with the crew or get done on the ship. Because he has nothing planned except for maybe the last. How many crew were left? 5?
It's 6, all right?
6.
Okay. Last, let's say 3 hours. He wants to spend a half
There are
an hour
5
each
left.
one.
5.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I had to
Still,
remember
let's
it
say
was
3
A, B,
hours
C, D, E.
before they hit Bellshire. He
Yeah.
wants to discuss with them their. He'd like to discuss their individual alignment because he's concerned with the phrase he heard from Dante, "For the love of everything evil."
Yeah.
That is something he will not stand, and whomever doesn't vow to change their ways, they have no place in his pack. That was the initial thought, at least. But he will try to get them to convert from jumping or trying to kill anyone else. I mean, if they're evil, they're evil. Just no evil ways while they're running the ship.
Okay, so specifically, they liked to say things that made Adam happy, and Adam liked to hear about bad things. Adam wasn't necessarily a nice guy. He's a patronizing prick who just wanted to take more money and convert more people onto his boat. So at this point, they don't have an evil alignment per se, if you want to talk straight alignment, but they do have to learn how to be nice to everybody now, because
Yes.
all they did before was load up wood, gather money, and be deckhands. They
So,
didn't have
So
any
was
Tusk,
that
reason to
more
be
of a
polite.
slip of? Sorry, was that just more of a slip of the tongue from Dante? Because he said
No,
it was
no,
the same
it was
for all that is evil. Or,
specifically to
yeah,
please Adam.
yeah. So Tusk, old man, here, if you're worried
while
about
he
that,
was sort of
I say if you're worried
while
about
he
that
was sort
here,
of turning on Adam. Though.
yeah,
So,
I do have our employee handbook here. It does have a very good section on customer service, hospitality, things like that. How to turn a frown upside down, basically. If you would like, I think you can give this to your crew here and have them do some reading while they're on their journey and turn them into upstanding, citizens.
crew, Marty has volunteered to teach you etiquette. So
Excellent.
here's this book. He is going to teach you etiquette, and if you don't like it too much, you can throw him over.
Yeah.
Just kidding on that last one.
If it's going to turn into a cruise line, you definitely want some polite stewards on the cruise
Exactly.
line. You don't necessarily want all deckhands.
Yeah, that was Marty's or not Marty's. That was Tusk's biggest concern is that
Yeah.
if they're evil, then they will not stay alive or at least on the ship. So he wanted to wait till the very end to go and talk to them about their
Yeah, they weren't, and
beliefs
that's why I wanted to be specific. When it comes to specifically the game mechanic of alignment, they're not evil. They were just rude bullies, right? They're not necessarily evil. They're just not the nicest people around,
fair enough.
and they
Okay.
need to
Well, that was
turn that leaf if they're going to be in any sort of hospitality industry.
right on. So when they do pull up to Bellshire, he will let them know about the paperwork that Marty has with going to Thulrava, and that if they need a safe haven or a place just to dock for a while, then they are more than probably going to be likely able to stay there and stay docked there, maybe for a fee, maybe for free. It just depends on who's running the show at the time. He's been gone for several years now. It could be a different clan leader running the show. So, but he is still in one of the main families. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially if people show up with a boat and they say it's yours, I'm sure there'll be some amount of reception there, and they get a handwritten note from you about what's going on. I'm pretty sure that'll be good to get us started. So we are going to go to the world map here just so we can look at where we are at Bellshire. Now, first off, I guess let me zoom back out here just to give a view of how we got there. Let me, and this is just to recap. So we started over here, and I'm drawing a line right now, and it has to wait till I let up the button. Pow! There we go. So we started to the west, sailed out, and it was about where I'm putting this X that the fight happened, where Tusk defeated Adam and took over as pack leader. Excuse me. And then the rest of the trip is pretty much uneventful, except for all of, well, the events that we just talked about. We end up in Bellshire. And after you get off the boat, your instructions to them then are to go to Thurava
Finish.
on the way to Fairhaven, or to go there on the way back.
They can finish the Fairhaven run. That way they have extra
Okay.
coin. Tusk will leave his
Okay.
platinum he just got from the Dragon Slayer with them as well to help pay for things that are needed.
Well, at this
well
point,
as-
I can tell you that because of what they're expected to gather at Fairhaven, they don't need any of your money, and they wouldn't take the 800 that they were asking for because that's yours anyway. So the money that you guys were going to pay, you don't need to pay. And they can use the money from Fairhaven for their own expenses as well as the improvements to the boat.
Okay. Tusk is going to, before he gets out the boat, give Dante an envelope and tell him to read it after we leave. And that'll be the surprise name that I've come up with.
Aw.
It says, "I love you." The name of the boat is fill in the blank.
I love you, Dante.
All right.
Dream of me.
So now we've got the quick view of the world map. I'm going to get us to Bellshire. Let me go over here and zoom it in. So we have, and
it
this is
dark
just
here?
a generic. Oh, you say that. Let me switch us back over to the world map for a second while I fix the light. Thank
Allie, you didn't say it was so dark here. Why is it so dark here?
Listen,
I can kind of maybe sort of fix that.
No, I could see everything okay, but yeah,
You could?
I could, yeah.
It should be daylight. No, I want to
Yeah,
make sure.
it was on mine. There was blackened parts on the map. I'm assuming you're hiding for a purpose, but I could see everything that was
Well,
not black.
I assume that was because of the
There's
the lighting
walls or something.
effects.
Yeah.
the lighting effect, though.
Yeah. But I just want to make sure that everybody can see, because you should be able to see the whole map. It's daytime. How about now? Can you see the map now?
Well, I can see part of it. It's like stuff. Yeah, it looks like that. It's all
Okay,
stuff's
good.
blacked out.
So we'll leave it
Yeah.
at that then, because that's just line of sight. So that works.
okay. That's
Cool.
fine.
So I'm actually going to zoom out some here too, so you can kind of get a bigger picture of it. But Bellshire is it's a small town, and we're looking at pretty much the center of town, or at least the road that leads to the center of town. The town itself, the last time Allie was there, was in ruins, I believe. It's like burned and what
Right.
have you. So there are a
Raided.
couple of spots that are still kind of run down, like right to the northwest of where you're entering. There are some broken walls and stuff right there. That was a building back then, but it looks like a lot of it has been built back up, and you can see some people wandering around. And just so you know, I've just used the same token for all of them. They're all just generic villagers. And if we want to, if for Allie's purposes, if you want to address people that you recognize, you will recognize most of the people here. Okay. What I really want to do is just get you guys to start walking into town and see what you see and what Allie might start to recognize or build upon. Now, the town is very much the same town you left, but it looks like some of the buildings are back the way they were, like people built them back up.
okay.
Oh, Allie, what a
Hi.
quaint little place here. I was expecting it to be much more in disrepair.
You and I both. It definitely didn't look like this last time I was here.
Oh well, I mean that's good news, right?
I hope so.
All right, well, this is your town, old girl. Go lead the way.
And everybody's
call
free
me
to just
old.
walk around. As you approach near any of the villagers, you get kind of a short nod and a wave,
Hello.
and that's about it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Auntie Shimuak here. Nice to see everybody.
My map is also all black on my side, so
All
Just-
black?
yeah.
Why is that? And for that matter, why can't I select your character? That's not right.
Do you want me to refresh?
No, I mean, I should be able to select your character because I am, the boss.
Allie is so overcome. She does not want to move.
That's
She's
it.
just standing there in awe in the center of her village.
But, it's that whole thing of I need to change it so I can actually select a character. Good gosh. And you're right. You can't see anything, but it's daylight. Why can't you see anything in the daylight, Allie?
I don't know.
Strange.
It is weird
Not
because
wearing my glasses.
She doesn't have light vision, so.
any vision,
I
right?
don't have vision. She's been faking the whole time. That's why all the rolls have been so bad.
That'd be a good character twist that she's realized she's blind the whole entire time.
Wait, you guys
Let's-
can see things?
It looks like Joe's screen. That's what it looks like to us.
Let's see if I can let you see now. Do you see now? You should see now,
Oh
Allie.
God, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, good.
Okay.
I had to
It's-
go
it's
make
okay,
some
Allie.
weird
Open your
change,
eyes.
but yeah. So that building
Unless it was
to
Helen Keller
the
all time.
ruins to your left of where Allie is now, that was a big gathering hall, and it is still in disrepair. It's all still wrecked, as it were.
So there is still some semblance of like, hey, bad stuff went down here.
Yeah.
It's not just like
Yeah.
magically back to the way it was.
No, it is not.
Okay.
However, the people you see around, you recognize a couple of the faces as people that weren't around the day after. And at the time you left, they weren't around either. But right now, it looks like a village going about its daily business.
And you said it seems like people are recognizing me.
I mean, not necessarily. You get a nod, a wave here and there, but no real spark of recognition. Maybe you look a little different from when you were here last time.
Well, yeah,
Since you were-
she was also a kid.
Yeah, you were
At the
much less
time.
of a badass at the time, too.
Yeah. Does everyone seem like they are friendly at least, or are we getting like this kind of like they don't
Passive friendly.
passive friendly? Okay.
Yeah. Nobody's actively walking up and saying, "Hi, welcome to Bellshire."
Okay.
It's just, and by the way, I think if I remember right, just about everyone in Bellshire was also halfling.
Yeah.
So I did use a short token. Not that you can see that per se, but they are small. They are small,
small.
people
Yeah, they're
compared
smaller,
to
yeah.
regular tokens.
So all the buildings are like scaled down, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. I
okay,
mean,
so-
everything is geared towards the smaller folk.
Okay.
And you
I
can
will
see
stay
that-
outside everywhere.
That
Tusk, I mean, me and you might need to duck down just a little bit if we
Yeah.
decide to go anywhere.
that well in the center of town is a full size thing. It's as big as it looks. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
just made for smaller folk. It is a remnant from the origins of this area, so it's older than the town itself.
Ah, all right. Well, Allie, where to go? This is your show.
And
Well, I'll
and
be,
Aster, you're welcome to make up whatever building is whatever building. It's all up to you.
Is there a tavern?
Yeah, if you
somewhere
want
in
me
there?
to name anything, I can, but otherwise, everything is whatever you want it to be.
Hey, chime in something
Did-
real fast.
No.
What do you
Yeah,
guys think
okay.
of the mini tour blood vessel?
Mini tour.
Mini tour.
Blood
Or
vessel.
blood vessel.
It's a vessel, water.
A mini
I
tour
award you no
sounds
points.
neat.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know about putting blood in the name of a cruise ship.
Well,
Yeah.
blood vessels that the whole thing was based off of because Crimson. Okay. Anyway.
So, anyways,
continue.
Disadvantage.
Tusk looks down from back at his book. What do you think? Goes back.
so I can see, yeah, Tusk is scratching that part of the note off.
No. The name has already been decided. I'm just running by you guys real fast.
Hey, I know that I already gave them the go for this, but
No.
what do you guys think?
I'm just trying to come up with something good, and then we'll go ahead and have that be what it was the whole time. So I'm just
Cool.
writing jokes by you guys.
Jokes.
All right. All
That's
right.
what
Well,
I would have
anyways,
said
Ali,
too.
let's what to? Do we need to go? I mean, we're trying to find your information about your sister. Yes.
Yes, but as I said, this is definitely not the state that I've left it in.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, where should we head to first?
Also, did you just ask if there's a tavern in a
Well,
halfling town? Of course, there's a tavern in the
Well,
halfling town.
I know this place was raised, so I'm just wondering if if it's the same kind of town. It wasn't.
If there is but 2 halflings that helped rebuild it, there is a tavern.
Oh, we're in Ireland. I got it.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Bellshire. Can I pour you a pint?
Cool.
Why?
Pints.
Well, it's a half pint.
Oh,
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 That's
no,
actually-
no.
that was very good. That was way better than
Yeah.
Blood Vessel.
yes. I award you 1,000 points.
You have made
All
up.
right.
Yes.
All right.
0
Well,
out of 1,000. Looking good.
so which way to the tavern, Ali? Unless you want to go somewhere else. I mean, it might not be a bad place to go to and find out some information.
Yeah, news would be great.
She'll kind of
Let me just look at these buildings to see which one makes sense. I'm going to say it's going to be that first one on the right of where Tusk is standing.
Ah, Tusk. Looks like he's already found it here. Ali, is this the place?
yeah, it would appear they put it right back where it was.
Smashing.
There's a trough.
Yes. Is that for horses or ponies or things like that here?
Something like that.
It almost looks like a propane tank. That's nice.
All right. Well, does it look like me and Tusk can fit inside there if we duck down?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right.
I
All right,
mean,
Tusk.
almost every place that makes a tavern makes sure they can handle more than just the race that made it. So,
all right.
like you
There
have
were
to
enough
expect others.
visitors.
Can you? Does it let you walk in there?
No, but the door seems locked.
But
Ali, can
I
you see
did. I did the unlock on it. So there,
Yeah,
now it's.
there we
open.
go.
All right.
All right.
I did.
Uh,
I think you just
ah.
needed to click on it. But anyway, there's a couple
Oh,
of people
look.
in there, and Allie, this is so the way the tavern was set up before is very similar to the way it's set up now. It's not exactly the same. It's like, just odd enough. It's like maybe everything is shifted 2 feet to one way or something. It's not exactly how you remembered it, but it looks like it was set up very similar. So there's just a lot of places to stand and drink. There are some seats down in the center of the place, but there are 2 people that are the proprietors, and they are brothers. And if you remember their names, you're welcome to say it.
The
And
only
if
thing
you-
that came to my brain was Feely and Keely.
There you go. And we can just pronounce it a little differently, Felly and Kelly.
That works.
Okay, so they're 2 brothers there, and they're currently working. Just cleaning up a little, double checking kegs and all that stuff you see laying around is pretty much stores. Like they supply a nearby town as well with different things, as well as people in in this town. So a lot of things are just kind of stored out in the open here, and that's why
What's
it looks
the name
way
of this
it does.
tavern?
What?
What's the name of the tavern, Allie? The Half Pint.
The half pint, obviously.
I was gonna go for like tall ales or something like that. Yeah.
The half pint seems quite lovely here. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome us here. We are the Crimson Minotaur. I'm sure you recognize this smashing young lady here. And I'll kind of like push Allie forward.
And they both. There's a semi spark of recognition, but not what you'd expect, Allie. But there's a bit of it's just more, again, call it passive friendliness of hi, welcome. What can we get for you?
Your fanciest liquor and whatever tobacco you have.
Oh,
Local tobacco.
we've got both, sure. And so one of them just walks over to the crates in the corner to I was gonna say leaf through some leaves, I guess, but tobacco, and he's just going through different tobacco in different small wooden containers. Grab some of the better stuff, because you said fanciest, and the other just goes over to the cabinets in the back to grab some of the fancier liquor that they've got, which turns out to be an apricot brandy.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll bring both to you to be served. Now, is the tobacco for smoking or rolling or what? Do you want the
Smoking, I
full
have a pipe.
leaf? So do you
Yeah, I'll
want it
take
chopped
yeah,
up, or do you want to take the?
enough to put in the pouch. I like to collect different
Okay.
tobaccos when I travel. So what is this? The Bellshire special, or has it got different like a certain name?
They've got it's the BS. Yes, the Bellshire special.
Yeah.
They'll give you the full
Awesome.
a full leaf and a half of the BS,
Awesome.
and the liquor itself they just call apricot brandy, but it is of course their special brew, and
Gotcha.
the cost is just a few gold pieces for each of those things. So say 8 gold for the best.
Okay.
Now, as far as what anyone else wants to do, they're more than happy to just kind of shoot small talk at you, but they're not really engaging in anything. They've got their work to go about, so they're kind of letting you guys sit around and chat amongst yourselves if you like.
As I sit in one of those really tiny seats, I'll be like, "So, Ali, what do you want to do here? You know those two chaps, yes?"
Ali's gonna kind of walk up to the bar, still a little confused that as much time as she spent around, them in the tavern when she was here before, that they don't seem super like receptive
Mm-hmm.
as far as just like, oh, this is another customer, be friendly to them. So she's gonna kind of sit at the bar and ask a few questions, like, how's your mom doing? Just stuff that maybe regular patrons wouldn't come in and ask
Okay.
to see how they react.
Okay. What is Tusk up to? Because I need a second to answer that question.
Tusk is just looking around. He's just trying to get a feel for these people. That he's kind of weirded out by how just nonchalant they are.
Yeah, and I would lean over to Tusk while, again, since me and him are the two tall, I'm assuming the two tallest people in here, and I'll be like, "So Tusk, old man, I'm usually familiar with halfling peoples, and they're usually quite jovial and welcoming. Does this rub you a strange way?"
Yes, I think they've been dealt a hard hand. So they're they're not so trusting of outsiders, but they're not giving us the side eye either. So
Give me an
that's
insight check, both Tusk and Marty, please.
Okay. Insight. 16 from Marty.
Okay.
I never looked at it, so I'm just waiting for my thing to click it. All reliable is failing for some reason. So.
All right. So with Ali, as you start to talk to Felly, he says, "Oh no, don't worry. I recognize you, Ali. It's just it's been a while, and things haven't been the same around here." And Ali, I'd like you to roll an insight check too.
Wasn't
Well,
good
I'm getting
anyway.
that. What all happened to you exactly? The last time I was here, it was obviously not like this.
There's been a bit of rebuilding. Nothing too special.
Well, everyone left last I knew. There were hardly enough left to rebuild. Hey, 2 digits. Look at that.
Double digit, nice. So
Nice.
17 there. There's definitely so both Marty and Ali kind of sense the same thing. There's definitely something not right about the reactions of these people. Now, for
I don't
Ali,
know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
for Ali, you know that the devastation that was wrought on the village those years ago isn't something that somebody would say, "Oh, we just rebuilt." All right,
Right.
there's more to it than that. And for Marty's perspective, yeah, you nailed it. That for halflings running a tavern, they should be happier. There's no music playing. There's nothing going on. It's kind of it feels almost somber compared to what you might expect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just kind of very like straightforward, nonchalant answers that like.
But it's almost like you got a 17 on the inside. It's almost like he's answering what you're thinking, just to please you and maybe stop you from asking. If you get what I'm saying, it's almost like
Yeah.
he's using a little Jedi mind trick, perhaps, on you.
She's gonna ask about her mother Sylvia, just because she knew that if everything was fine, she would have come back around. But if she doesn't know what the answer is, then she wants to see what he would come up with if that's the case.
So, Sylvia. Now, did Sylvia live through it?
Sylvia was out of town with
She was out of
the
town,
other
okay.
merchants that she traveled with
And do you
when it
know
happened.
what did she do after she came back?
She wouldn't have known. Basically, the story was she used to adventure a lot, like Allie does now,
Okay.
with another band of oddballs. And basically, in their old age, after they retired, had kids, they would all get together for like maybe a couple of weeks or so and travel around and sell like their goods, because they all got into like making things, and one of them was like a smith, so they would all just travel together. But by the time she circled back around was after the fire and the raid.
Okay.
So Allie hasn't heard from her.
All right. That in mind, the answer from Philly would be Sylvia hasn't been around since years now. Have not seen her. You've not seen your mother?
Not since the attack.
How long ago was this attack? I don't remember.
I don't think
This would have been like a dozen, maybe like 10 years.
Yeah, we
Like,
didn't
she was a
put an
kid at the time.
Exactly. We never put an exact date on it, but it was years ago. 10 years is probably a good number to put on it.
So, Kelly, when was this town rebuilt?
Just a few years ago, we spent some time making sure we could live our lives again.
So where did everybody go in between those, 7 years?
Living out of tents and stuff for a long time.
You guys have any problems with these hybrid dragon types? Ever see any around here lately?
Don't know what you mean.
I'll
Oh, hold on. Yes, I think I get it now. The kobold thingies.
yes.
No, not in a long time.
Marty's
How's
gonna
the-
keep a
how's
look
the brandy?
outside real quick. Sorry.
How's the brandy? It's
Pretty
actually
good.
it's good. It's
Yeah.
not it. You wouldn't think it the fanciest that you would get at a halfling tavern, but it's okay. It's good.
Yeah, Marty's gonna keep an eye out outside and just see, how busy is it? Does it seem like everyone's acting normal as they're going about their day, or is it? Are they? What's the right word? Just he's trying to see if there's. I mean, there's something that definitely feels off about the town.
Does everybody look apathetic like automatons, or are they?
Yeah.
Throw me a perception or insight check, both
I think it'd
Marty
be
and Alset.
I think it'd be insight, simply because I'm trying to discern.
Here it's either for me because, especially the way Chris described it, how are they
11.
moving around? I mean, just watching their steps could be something too.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I
11
see
and 12,
11 and
hey.
12. I mean, nothing more out of the ordinary than what you've already surmised. There's something a little bit odd.
I'll pull Allie back here and I'll be like, Allie, I don't mean to interrupt you here, but I don't know if we'll get anything out of these chaps here. It seems a little bit off. Maybe we should go take a look at your childhood home. What do you think?
I'd like that. There definitely isn't something right here. Even, I knew them when they were younger. They were never like this. No
Allie,
matter what.
who normally runs the town here?
Master
Is
Blaster.
there any kind of local government? How does this work? I know it's a small village, but
Not as much. I mean, there were families that had been here since the beginning, but we never really had anything particularly established as far as, much of a leader. When I was younger, there was a blacksmith who took care of a lot of that sort of thing. But I don't know what happened to him.
I would like to speak to whoever's in charge. Maybe probe his mind a bit, if you know what I mean.
Not when you put it like that.
Are you
No,
guys?
don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Are you guys just sitting at the table chatting?
I'm on my way out.
Yeah, I was over by with Tusker, and I just kind of reached over and like kind of whispered to Allie just to
Okay.
see if she wanted to leave.
Okay.
Allie will leave kind of a just
All right.
Big
like a
dropping
tip.
eaves.
Yeah, so I'll take out some coin. I'm like, Mr. Kelly and Belly, or whatever your names are. Thank you so much for your hospitality here. Some notes for you here. I'll put a little paper down. I'm like, some suggestions for some songs and things you could do to lighten up the mood. And I'll just kind of put some coin down, and I'll be like, Allie, let's go.
She'll nod her head.
Thank you. Have a good day. Just, again, just passive friendliness.
Yeah.
I'm glad
All
I
right,
said
so-
that because it really fits the mood. Okay.
I get outside and I'll stretch. I'm like, Tuscus feels much better to be out here where we can stand up right fully. All right, Allie, where are we? Which way to your home?
Indeed, yes.
There's people like actively like up and moving around.
Yeah. You see, all of the tokens, the icons, the people you see on the map are there, and picture them as moving around doing stuff. Right? They're not just in static spots, but it's just
And there's
easy
no,
to do it.
there are
this
no
way.
kid halflings running around. I saw it seems like it's all just adults and things.
Yeah, all your average age. Let's put it that way. Yeah, nobody particularly old, nobody particularly young. Several people over near the well. The well is considered the center of town. Excuse me. The blacksmith, because it was mentioned, the blacksmith would be. Let me look at my screen here to make sure I got the one I want to use. The blacksmith would be straight to the north of the well. So that would be the building up there. Now, as far as home for Allie, if we want it to be one of the buildings that remains here, it would either be the building to the east or the building to the southwest. Because the one directly to the west is more like the inn. It has multiple beds and multiple rooms.
Okay. Well, I'd say
Or
we
your
can-
home could be off the map. Either one would work.
Or it's gone.
Or it's gone.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
Well, we can head towards the blacksmith. Like I said, that's about the closest we had to any authority when.
All right, smashing. Let's head up to the blacksmith. Yeah.
Smashing. No smashing.
No, please no. We've
Yeah,
been
I'll
there.
Smashing.
I'll open that
Smash.
door so you
Yes.
guys can be in there.
From-
And let me
That's
Elsa just walk right in there.
Yeah.
He just stepped right on top of the guy I wanted to move. Also,
Yeah.
thank you.
Very
I
nice.
wanted to move him out here. So this spot, which I'm going to recenter on the map here. So this is this spot is both a blacksmith and a farmer in the same area. So you can see the crops in behind the building. Somebody's out there working in the field, and let me move that. Why can't we see that? Why can't you guys see all of these tokens that I can see? Oh, they're showing up now? Oh, it's line of sight stuff. Okay. I get it now. So it's only when Marty moved over there that you could see the guy out in the field. My mistake. And then when you moved, he vanished. So I'm looking on my screen. I can see him all right. Anyway, so you can see there's a guy out in the field. There is the blacksmith is there. There's actually a covered spot outside where he has the forge and the bellows and what have you. Nothing is running right now. He's just inside. Looks like he's just moving stuff around. He has a small amount of inventory, if you will. There's a lot of farm equipment and hinges and things like that he's created, weather vanes, what have you. And that's what you walk into. What was the blacksmith's name? Because it's the same guy.
Balmar.
Balmar does not look like he has aged a bit, but he also didn't look like he aged much back then either. Balmar is one of those guys that always has nice fresh skin underneath all the dirt and grime of the forge.
Thank you, Balmar. You're doing good.
Yeah, yeah.
She'll definitely approach him and see how he reacts versus how Felly and Kelly did.
So he sees you. There's a little bit of recognition after he looks. He looks at you for a moment, and then he says, Oh, Allie, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. It's been years.
It has. I'm not sure how many, but it's been a while.
It's
You're
understandable.
definitely not the kid you left as.
I'd certainly hope not.
So,
How have you
what brings
been?
you back to Bellshire?
Honestly, I didn't expect it to be like this. I haven't been back since the night it all happened. What happened?
Uh, what happened with what?
Uh, this place. This isn't how it looked 10
Well,
years ago when I left.
when you take time to build things back up, they kind of tend to look like they did before.
But there was such a little amount of people when I left. How did you get everything back up?
Um, that's just the people that we have. It took some time, took years. It's not like we rebuilt Rome in a day.
Have you heard from Sylvia by chance?
Sylvia. No, not at all.
It would seem from what I've heard she's never circled back since it happened. She must have come back at a time that no one was left.
I don't recall seeing her those years ago or any time since.
Is there a great many left that were here before? I saw Felly and Kelly over in the tavern, but
How are they? Haven't seen them in a few days.
they seem not at all like they used to be. And I understand the toll that it could take, but it doesn't seem like there's anything left in them that they used to be.
All right, so who is in there and like watching, paying attention to the conversation?
All sets in there.
Tusk was also in there.
Yeah, I'm in the door. I'm in the doorway, leaning in, listening.
Okay, so let's do a collective insight check. So everybody roll. We'll take the best number.
Not mine.
Not the 5. Maybe not the 13. Although that comes out to an 18. Yeah, it looks like we'll take Allset's best roll here. That's an 18. It seems like he has the same attitude as the other two, but is almost aggressively trying to sound more chipper, as if that is what is expected of him.
All right, Joe, I'm going to telepathically speak to him
Okay.
and say, what's his name? Bomar, right?
Yeah.
Bomar, you are safe. You are with friends. Dorama can no longer hurt you. Tell us the truth.
Ooh, that's interesting. He looks around for a moment and then he just looks at Allie and says, I think I've got to get back to work here. If there's anything else I can do for you, don't worry. You can stop by later. But I've got to get back to work now.
She'll kind of like bow to him and go to leave.
Okay. And he just he's looking around a bit as he's shuffling a few bits of metal here and there, and then goes to grab his apron like he's getting ready to go to work.
I'm gonna go to the well and see kind of what's going on around here. As much as her and her sister played around the well, I mean, there's a lot that went on around here as far as people talking about stuff with the town and traders and everything. So that was always like the hub. So I mean, if she's gonna find anything, even if it's just more people watching, it's gonna be there.
And then, Joe, while everyone starts to leave, I'm gonna lean down. I'm gonna open the door up so Allie can go down there, and I'm just gonna be like, Allie, I'll stick around and just see if I notice anything strange with this old boy, and then I'll cast invisibility on myself, and then just kind of scooch inside the blacksmith before the door closes.
Okay. Invisibility. So you want to cast it, and you want him not to notice you're casting
So
it.
yeah, so I'm in the doorway. I open the doorway
Yeah.
and kind of step outside and holding it up, and like I'm behind it.
Okay.
And then as everyone walks out, I'm just gonna lean down to Allie and be like, I'm just going to stay here and just see if I can see anything here. And then I'm
Okay.
gonna, I'm gonna cast invisibility and I'm just gonna swing around the door as it's closing normally and hang out inside there and just see if he does anything, if he really goes back to work or if anything else happens.
Okay. So first, give me a, I guess either sleight of hand or stealth check to see how good you are at your little deception there.
Sure. That's a 17.
Yep, you're good. So you get what you want, and you're in there. Now, Chris, I noticed you moving Alset around. What I want you to do is go back towards the blacksmith because I want to make a description of something. As you guys were stepping out, you notice that it seems like a lot of the village has come out, and let me rearrange the stream map here so we can see this. But there are a lot of people out towards the center of town now, and by a lot, what am I talking about? Like up to 15 or so people. That there were only a handful out there before, but now there are a lot more people out. Like something has brought them out. Allie, you see them. A lot of them are looking at you as you approach the well, and a lot of them are around the well. Marty, so you're invisible inside. The apron he went to put on, he puts back on the hook that he took it off from, and then he goes up behind him, knocks on the door behind him, and from outside of that door comes another halfling. And they talk in a really hushed whisper for a moment, like low enough that you can't hear. But when they're done, they both walk towards the door and head out.
I'd follow him out then. I'm just gonna
Okay.
keep those.
So what I'll do is I'm going to put them outside the door. Now, one thing you notice, everybody out there, you see that a lot of these villagers are now holding weapons. And they are not looking particularly friendly now.
And they're all just looking at me.
A lot of them are, as you kind of walk towards the center of town, and that's where most of them are. A lot of them are looking at you, but the ones like the two, the blacksmith and his partner who just walked out, they're looking at more like Tusk and Allset, who are right there. Right now, nobody can see Marty, but the rest are. And Marty, actually, you do notice that at least one of the halflings towards the east side of the well glances in your direction more than once. Like they know there's something there, but they can't quite figure it out.
Okay.
Okay.
I put a little marker on my guy so we remember he's invisible.
Yep. I like that. You put something extra visible to remember that you're invisible. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's going on, Allset?
What do you think, man? Come on. You've seen this before.
I,
This is your first rodeo.
I'll reach up. I'll touch both of them on the shoulder as I'm invisible. I'm like, hello, boys. There's another chap that just came out with Boma over there, and heading towards Alley, I believe. And I think I'll stay invisible in the shadows here, and in case anything happens.
Should
So-
I move in towards her, you think?
I think Tuska might be prudent if you were there with her.
Move it in.
So at this point, there are no murmurs. There's nothing. Nobody's talking to each other. It's just, it's almost creepy, right? It feels like the entirety of the people in this area of the town are now all out and just kind of very slowly walking towards the center of town. They're holding weapons, mostly daggers and swords. A couple of them are holding shields. Nobody seems to be armored, but it's like they grabbed weapons and then are slowly making their way towards the center of town.
Should I be
But, like, actively?
arming myself?
They're moving, but nobody's like running or anything, if that's what you mean by actively. It's almost creepy the way they're just kind of walking slowly.
Do they all seem kind of like uniform?
Not really. No, they're still individual, but they're all individuals acting in a similar way, if we want to word it that way.
And some of these again are just like people that I recognize.
Yes, although there are very little glances of recognition at this point. They don't look like they are robots or completely disconnected. They're not talking. They look at each other. They look at you guys, and it doesn't seem like they're hostile, but it certainly doesn't seem like they're friendly.
If there's
This
something we should know about your leaving, you should probably tell us now.
this none of this is right. This is a nightmare. This is an illusion. This is wrong
And creepy.
and very creepy. Yes.
I'm
Did
gonna
there
try
seem
to
to be something that triggered them? Like,
Does it seem like they're all under some mass hypnosis spell? That'd be something I could discern.
Give me an insight. Well, if you're looking for if they're under a spell, I guess I would take Arcana as well. Insight would be something. Just
then
so you
I'm
know,
going to-
I'm kind of just randomly moving them around a little bit, just
And
to
I'm-
show that they are moving.
Yeah, and then I'm going to get them. I'm going to get close to a group of them if I can, while being invisible, and see if I can overhear what they're talking about and what their problem seems to be now.
I think he said it's just like quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quiet, but I mean,
Yeah.
the other two were whispering to each other in the room. I couldn't hear them, so I'm wondering if maybe they're talking just in hushed things to each other, and it just has that kind of weird eeriness, or if they really aren't just saying anything and just staring at you.
They as you move closer to where they are over there, Marty, all three of those ones that are close to you, again, they kind of glance towards where you are. Nobody makes eye contact with you as you're invisible, but you can tell they're looking to see where you might be. And I'll set, there doesn't appear to be anything magical that is making this happen. They are not under the influence of any spell that you can find.
Okay.
Can I?
I want to
Can I,
play
like-
the Jaws music right now.
Can I like investigate this like area and see if there's anything like weird about it? Like with this being like an important part of the city, with it being like a hub, and the fact that like going to the tavern, going to the blacksmith didn't seem to do anything. But as I started to go to like the center of everything, can I see if something is like off, whether it's with the people or the area?
Well, if you want to check out the way the people are, that would be insight, and if you want to check out the way the area is, that would be a perception check. So let's which one do you want to do?
I will do perception, just because every time I'm trying to do insight, it seems like the same thing. And she already knows
Yeah.
that like something is off. She just doesn't know like what it is.
Yeah. But the way I treat it, when you do multiple checks, you're learning more. So if
That's
you
fair.
did insight again and it was successful, you would learn more. I hate to just say, yes, it's still the same when you're successful, because that doesn't make sense to me.
Right. I do want to try an area thing though, because
Yeah, go ahead.
it concerns me the difference in being here versus being in the two shops.
Perception check then. Oh. No, I mean, as far as you can tell, yes, they put stuff kind of, it was reconstructed the way that it had been. And not, like I said earlier, not everything is perfect. Things seem to be a little bit off. But aside from that, there's not, I mean, nothing special. There's nothing that would lead you to believe, because I saw this, these people are acting weird.
You said are they just standing there, or
No,
they're actively getting a little closer?
they're all moving, and they're all moving slowly towards you guys, but not to the point where it's like roll initiative. It's like they're just slowly moving towards you guys, and they're holding weapons at their sides. No weapons are sheathed; they're all holding them. And the couple that have shields, they're holding their shields actively. They're not on their back.
Should we surrender? No cell of theirs could possibly hold me. But
We haven't done anything for them to react this way. This
I'm
is supposed
well
to be my
aware.
home.
Maybe we should find the leader. Quickly, probably.
I mean,
Oh.
that would have been bold.
Yeah, they never really had a leader. It was just more like if there was a something that needs to be mediated, Beaumar could help. But everybody just kind of went about their own business. They didn't need a leader because they all lived in harmony and happiness.
And
Which
is
is not this.
is Bomar actually making his way to the group at the well that's kind of doing things? Is he giving an indication that he's trying to instigate something, since he's kind of their leader in a way?
Well, first off, let me try and make a note of which one is Bomar. Give me a moment here, because that's going to make a difference now. The display name always update and close. Okay, so I got a guy named Bomar now. Nobody seems to be looking to him for guidance. Just to be clear on that. The Everybody just seems to be moving independently.
Should
Okay.
I lift you and have you reach out to your people, figure out what's going on so they can't get to you right away? And if this goes south.
I mean, at this rate, Ray, you may as well throw me in the well.
You're more useful than that.
Not a bad idea.
Do they seem to be like looking at Tusk at all?
Oh yeah, all of them are looking around amongst
Okay.
each other and amongst you guys.
So it's not just completely fixated on me.
No.
specifically. Okay.
Yeah.
I see that look in
Still
your
creepy,
eyes,
but-
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they'll hear me out. You're one of them, one of their folk. You'll have a better chance of talking to them, calming them down, hopefully. I'm just trying to get you a higher view, if you prefer.
Allie kind of steps up like onto the stone
Yep,
around
yep.
the well. Why are you all like this? This is not the home that I knew. This is not where I grew up. What has happened to you all?
Let's see. We're gonna have the one that's right next to the well. She looks at you, and she very somber, straight look on her face, and a little bit of a curl of a grin on one side of her mouth, and she says, "No, it is not."
Thank you for your honesty. That's not what I wanted to hear. Allie's not going to take out her weapon, but she's going to look very, very distraught by that comment and kind of put her hand near one and kind of just a look over the crowd, I guess, just dumbfounded, honestly. Can I try another insight?
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that they're all kind of paying attention?
Yep.
Can we not today?
Can
I
we
changed
not?
you in everything.
You have different dice. Did you pick metal? Because they sound like metal when they roll.
Yeah, I didn't know it changed the sound.
It
yeah, I
will.
did.
It will. It's like thud thud. I like it. Anyway, there's nothing. You know that there is something up, but there is nothing revealing itself to you. And at that, after the one halfling woman speaks up and says, "No, it's essentially no, it's not the place that you grew up." There's this kind of collective look they all give each other, and when they do that, they start to form a circle and they raise their weapons.
How are these like simple weapons, or are these like hardcore like martial weapons that they're carrying, Joe?
They're real daggers and swords and shields. Yeah.
Daggers, swords, shields.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And that's
Lower your
I
weapons.
hesitated to say martial because of the terminology that means in D&D. You know,
That's,
I mean, a short sword and a dagger are simple weapons, right? So they are weapons. They're real
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
joke weapons.
Lower your weapons. She is still your kitten. Hear her out.
I swear I just heard you say she is still your kitten.
Ken.
So I'm just putting them into a circle here, and this is just what they are doing while you guys are deciding what you do. There is no acknowledgement to what you have said, Tusk. It's just whatever, dude. What's up, you tall guy?
So they basically just ignored him?
Yeah, they don't. It's almost like they expected him to say it.
Allie just kind of looks around, like, kind of scared at this point,
We may
looking
have
for
to
her
bolt. I don't want
friends.
to hurt your clan, your crew, your village.
So all set. Just so you know, you haven't been forgotten. The Bomar and the other one, they keep an eye on you
Okay.
as they're moving in.
I'm
You're
just
just
smoking my pipe, hanging out.
yeah. They're just not. They're converging on the well.
Why
So
do you draw your weapons?
they're still no reaction to Tusk whatsoever. And they acknowledge you, just no reaction. No, I shouldn't say there's no reaction. They see you and they just don't care. They see you and hear you. They just don't care.
You should continue to talk to them. I'll protect you the best I can, but this might get ugly.
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
don't
dun,
need
dun,
protection.
dun,
I need
dun, dun,
answers.
dun, 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 dun.
We're a bit outnumbered for
Yep.
that.
And then, yeah. So Marty is like leaning farther and farther back into like the shrubs over here,
Yeah.
and he is preparing to cast a spell towards the well here, depending on what they do. He's just waiting. He's watching Tusk and Allie very closely, and if the group starts to make a aggressive move towards them, like they're actually going to attack, he's going to try to cast something before that happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a question. I did put mage armor on myself, like, I don't know, like a while ago, 12 minutes ago,
Okay.
according to the chat box. But obviously, it doesn't change anything in my armor class, so we need to figure out how to do that so we're not like, you know,
Okay.
'cause you're going to be hitting me at a 10, but I mean, it's at a 13 now, but like, how should we do that in Foundry to make sure it makes sense?
So I'm not sure if it'll allow you to do it as a player, but if you open up your character sheet,
Yeah, it won't.
and
Like if I try to edit the armor class, it just switches it back.
but not under the armor class. If you open up your character sheet and at the top, you're going to see DAE as dynamic active effects. You open that up and just try and add one.
Add a new effect.
And what you add, the effect, you can just go under
Magic shield or something like
the
that.
attribute. Well, what I've done to try and make this something that just works is you go under effects and then you go to add an attribute. And then when you add a key, you just add to your armor class and you just add whatever it is. Is it 4 for mage armor, whatever it is?
It's 3. It'll add 3.
Okay. So you can try and do that and see if it works. And then, when the spell is done, you just deactivate that. But I've done that when we've tried to do things on the fly before. Now, Marty, when you're...
Mage armor is 13 plus your dex.
There you go. When you're backing up and getting ready for your spell, the closest one to you looks over to to the next nearest one, nods at that one, and kind of shrugs his head back towards where you are, like they're communicating something about you.
Okay, so they can potentially see an invisible person.
They don't look directly at you. It's still that they glance in your direction without looking directly at you.
Okay.
Okay. So at this point, they're all now kind of stopped. They all look at each other and they raise their swords. And almost as one, they start to converge in. And it is time to roll an initiative.
All right. Well, before they did that, Joe, I was preparing to cast a spell to see if I could dissuade them from doing that.
Sure.
Okay.
You definitely can.
Yeah. So Marty would drop the invisibility, and then he would cast Major Image.
Mm-hmm.
And centered in the well, deep below, he would create the sounds of what he thinks the dragon Dorama would be. Coming from the bottom of the well here, and it would just be like this kind of again, he has no idea. He only knows what Allset has talked to him about what drama was, and he knows that there was some incidences that happened around this village and things, and he would just make it so that again you would just hear this
okay. Now
coming from deep below the well, and then you would hear like step away from the heaven. That's what you would hear.
So what is the specific spell?
It's Major Image.
And is there a save against it?
Yeah, it is a. Let me show it. Let me cast it real quick here, so I make sure I
Sure.
mark it off.
DC
real quick.
30,000.
I just want to make sure I cast it real quick here. It is a 20-foot thing. So again, I have it inside there, so I can make anything in a 20-foot cube that I would like, and I have it just the voice and the sound coming deep from in there. But I believe it is a DC 14, and I think that is a wisdom check. Let me just double check for you here. Where is it? Deep wisdom check.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm not sure the number's going to matter.
I'm sorry. Intelligence. I'm sorry. My intelligence. DC 14.
Well, let me just double
check.
check here. Something.
My apologies.
Does this still work? Yeah. Well, let me. I'm going to re-roll it then because I was not rolling the one that you said. Intelligence check. Oh, I just did. Did I save? I did save. Okay. And what was the number?
It's a 14. 14. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with that, there's kind of a pause with about half of them. And let me go ahead and put some kind of marker on here to.
Do I need to make a save?
That's a good question, Jason. Anybody else within that?
I mean, it's anybody who is affected by it. So anyone who sees or hears it can make the save if they want to. So it's up. Yeah, it's up.
I mean, I don't want to, but that's a little sudden and frightening. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, we're both in it, so.
I am very small compared to a dragon.
And then what I want to have is what the feeling of heat coming from the well, because again with major image you can create the illusion of it, makes it seem completely real. The heat, the smell. I want this weird like napalm burn char smell coming out from the well, and some steam coming out across the sides of it, as I try to make it as realistic as Marty can potentially imagine it to be.
Okay.
Don't forget, Dorama's a Draco Lich now.
Yeah, I don't know if Marty remembered that because I didn't remember that until you just now said it.
Yeah.
Might not
Just
matter for
believes
them.
that it's real.
There you go. All right. So what do we end up with here for the rolls for the players?
Randy failed.
Al.
Yeah. Oh, there's a dragon.
Intelligence.
I don't mean
What the
to
hell?
alarm anyone. Yeah, intelligence saving throw. So I put some markers on some of the villagers here as ones that have succumbed to the major image spell. Now, what is the effect? Except for that they believe it. Is there any other specific effect?
No, so it's basically just an illusion that I can use and I can control. And during the entire time that I'm using it, as long as no one physically tries to touch it, they're susceptible to believing that it's real.
Okay. So I'm going to use that as them they'll be acting and reacting in some adverse fashion while they're under its influence. Mm-hmm. Like Randy's face disappeared. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Randy. He was just so scared.
It was awesome.
What's
Okay.
hide?
So we have that. And then I would like to get initiative.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no active combat. No active.
So if I make my save, do I just know that it's not real? Or
Yeah, you would know that it wouldn't be. You would perceive that it is an illusion or something.
Allie's still gonna act intimidated.
Yeah.
Initiative. I know how to do this.
Yeah, you do.
Man, I'm so fast.
Super fast. I'm just going to do probably 3 or 4 initiatives for mine here. Probably do 4 because you guys are 4 people. And let's do this one there. All right. I really got all of these in a row. All right, so I'm going to change this a little bit because I don't want them to be in a row.
Try challenging their leader.
There you go.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
more fight
I know
toss.
I can change this. Where do I change it? There. Let's say that one is 5. And then let's say that one is, what's this one going to be? 3.
Hey, Joe, I just want to say I did
Hey.
not know we traveled on the Yellow Dick Road.
Hello. All right. So I'm going to treat these kind of in groups.
That was funnier than that.
It was, sure.
I award you no points.
And since Randy was the first to act up,
I'm sorry.
I'll have them-
Yellow Prick Road. Is that
yeah, I'm going to have them attack
Yes.
him first. So I'm just going to move these guys in. And here. All right, so these are all ones that are going to be attacking. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure I put the right. Yeah, I didn't put the right weapons on these guys. So they're all going to attack with just what comes out as a slam, because that's what it has in here. We're going to use those attacks anyway. I didn't target you. What is your armor class there, Tusk?
It's 14, I believe.
14. So a 15 hit. So it's going to be 9 points of damage. I can reduce that. So so first one, yes, come to, and again, we're going to treat all of these as if they're holding short swords or daggers. Although the attack is going to come up as a slam. Not that one. That one I'm going to target Tusk this time. And then, so there's still kind of an eerie quiet, right? As they're another hit. They're looking at each other, but none of them are actually talking.
I'm saying 12 on here, but it should be 14. I don't know why.
You're not raging yet, are you?
Oh, I guess that might be it. No, because we just entered combat and I wasn't expecting to be attacked by a bunch of people.
Well, that's what you get.
Yep.
And look at this. They're all going to hit you, man. Isn't that great?
That's rough.
That's rough. One more.
I can spin in a circle with a great club, right? Hit all
Gosh,
4
yeah,
hits.
they all hit you, Randy. Poor Tusk. Let's let Marty have a turn, shall we?
Okay. All right. So Marty, again, seeing that his major
Oh,
illusion
I
really
didn't click begin. I gotta click begin before I can click next turn.
seeing that his major illusion really didn't do what he was hoping it was going to do.
Well, it has distracted them. I'll give you
Has
that.
distracted them, but it's not really doing what it was.
You also scared Tusk a little.
I did scare Tusk a little. He is going to let the image stop, and then he is not that they could really see anything, they could hear, but he's gonna not focus on it. He's going to actually instead cast fly on himself.
Okay. Do you want to remove that template?
Yeah, I'm trying to right
Okay.
now. Let me just go ahead. There we go. Let's
You
go.
got it.
Oh,
All right. Good.
delete. There we go. So he will cast fly on himself and shoot 60 feet up in the air.
Outstanding.
Yes.
What did you guys bother building a contraption for if you just had that?
So I'm gonna put flying on my guy so we remember he's
Cool.
flying
All right.
here.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna go 60 feet straight up into the air, and he's going to survey the area. And he's gonna prepare to shoot down at the people on his next go. So that's all he could do for this turn.
Okay.
Do a flip.
Straight up.
Yep. Yeah. So he takes some fire in his hands. He just puts it down, just like Iron Man, and just flies up into the air.
Okay. So let me. I don't think these guys can do anything per range. All right. Go to end your turn. So we can go to the
I'm
next-
sorry. You're
no,
correct.
no
I
problem.
forgot
So we can go to the
There we
next villager. And all right. Yeah. So for here, then I'm just gonna have some move in on Allie.
I'd like to veto that.
Go ahead. Try it.
Oh.
See what happens. All right, and then I'm just gonna move a couple of them around now for where they are wanting to be, just to make it easier when we get there. That one goes there. That one goes there. All right. So with Allie, we've got it's like 3 of them that can attack Allie, which I didn't bother to roll. What's your armor class?
I have to double check
16.
16.
All right, so that would hit. So that'd be 5. Let me do that. And then we'll go to the next one.
Excuse me while I try not to fall in this well.
And I want to continue to emphasize that they are being silent. Now, they're making the noises of combat, right? They're not like moot or anything, but they are not communicating in any way that makes sense. And then one more here.
But they're organized. Which is
Definitely, yes. Oh, that's a hit.
No.
16
That's
points.
gonna leave a mark.
That's going to leave a mark. Tusk.
My AC should be 14 because it's plus my Dex and my Con mod, so it's 2 apiece.
Okay.
So that should be 14.
I don't think I rolled anything below a 16 to hit you.
I was just
so,
double
yeah.
checking.
Yep.
Okay, Tusk is going to go into a rage, so I will go and click that. Where are
The
you?
Raging Barbarian.
It says 2 out of 3, but we rested, so I don't know why it's saying that.
Then don't use one.
Okay. Let me close it then.
Yep.
All right. So I'm also going to use.
You should be able to use it without using one, so to speak. I think there's a checkbox for don't use the resource or something like
Yeah,
that.
consume. Yeah.
Yeah, consume.
Oh, there is. Okay.
And I think for everything that uses resources, you have the option of using it without using the resource, so to speak.
Correct.
Let's see. Consume a viable usage, or no, just
So don't do that.
use it without
Yeah.
using those 2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That should take care of that. Okay, and let's see. What's the other thing? Fury, something like that. Frenzy.
Fury,
Frenzy.
Frenzy,
And we decided
Folksy.
that that does not leave me vulnerable to the hit. It's the reckless attack that leaves me
Okay.
vulnerable. I just cannot do 2 attacks off of that, but I have gained a second attack since that level up that we did. So I will use my club and try to do a non-fatal attack on 2 of these guys,
Okay.
or just one, depending on
Non-fatal.
how well it goes.
By the way, I am one that plays with the if you choose to do non-lethal damage, then you do non-lethal damage. So you can
That's
choose
fine.
not to kill something whenever you want.
I'm trying to select this. Okay, there it goes. All right, so I'm going to do. Sorry, Great Club.
I'm okay with you thinking. I'm cool with that. Did you target, by the way?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Okay. 17 hits.
You hit Villager. Villager is about to die.
Also, the other thing I gained
Or maybe
is
not.
10 more feet of movement. Is the other thing I gained, other than
Oh,
10 more
cool.
hit points as well. Does that one drop or no?
No, I mean his health dropped a little.
Okay,
But
well
it
then
does
I'll
not
attack him again to try to knock this one out. Hopefully.
Now, I was going to say you might seem sturdier than your average halfling, but what is your average halfling? I guess I don't know. As a villager, maybe they're sturdier than a regular villager. But go ahead.
Villager needs
I wouldn't
to
expect the normal
badly-
villager to have too many hit points, especially with as many as there are.
Oh, that's
Oh.
a 20.
Can you non-lethal crit?
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I'm
Knock 'em out.
concerned. The whole point, like I said, the whole point is if you are choosing not to kill a creature,
Oh my
then you are
gosh.
not going to kill the creature.
I am non-lethally 2080 in this guy.
So
Blue
that
Villager really needs to.
I mean, he's gonna have some
badly.
bruises. But
yeah. The you're pretty positive that a regular farmer would have dropped from those 2 hits, and this guy did not.
Still up?
Yep.
Oh my.
he
What?
might be missing a couple of teeth, but
Yeah,
you know, he was already missing a couple, probably. So that's all right.
All right. Well, that's the end of that
I
turn.
guess one thing
What?
I'll have to go double check, but one thing that I forgot to do was make sure you guys could see the health bars. So it'll take a couple seconds after I finish this turn. So as it is, these are just going to move closer to Alset, but since Alset hasn't really been threatening, he's just kind of smoking. They're not really going to do anything. The others can't do anything with Marty at this point, but they are going to move closer to wait for him to fall.
Alistair, I don't think these people are your villagers.
And Alset
Well, since I only have to speak words to cast spells, nobody really knows what I'm up to. I will send Mind Sliver to Bomar. See if you like this, buddy.
Mind Sliver.
So he
Is
has to
that
make a DC 12 Intelligence save.
okay? I was just gonna ask, does that have a save? And yes, it does. Let me I'm just starting to update these tokens, but for a Buma, let's do a intelligence save of 11.
All right,
All right. So what's the damage on that then?
here we go. Yeah, nothing crazy. 6 points of psychic damage.
It came up with the thing for the saving throw after you rolled the damage. So I'm gonna close
So,
it.
okay, so you take 6 points of psychic damage, and then the first time you make a saving throw before the end of your next turn, it must roll on a D4. Okay, yeah. So next time you make a save,
All right.
you're gonna roll on a D4 and subtract that from your save next time he makes a save.
Oi.
He's so whacked out in the brain right now.
He's
Insane in the membrane.
he's super wacky. All right. So go on to the next.
And I just go on and smoking my butt.
Yep. Okay. When that happens, hold on. I gotta count something here. So when that happens, Bomar does turn and look at you with a sneer on his face, like he knows that you did it.
I just like hold up my pipe like I'm cheers.
Cheers, buddy. All right, go ahead and end your turn, and I think I'm beating up Tusk next. No, actually, those are the guys that are. I'm going to say those are the guys that are near Marty. So, Allie, your turn.
Yeah, I screwed up. There's a passive thing of savage attacks that when I score a critical hit with a melee weapon, you can roll one of the weapon's damage dice one additional time and add extra damage of the critical hit.
Do it.
Does anyone know what the Great Club's dice is?
Look, if you don't know the dice for your own weapon, I'm not sure I'm going to allow
It
this.
is a 1d8 plus 4. Looks like for your guy.
So I'll roll an 8-sided then.
Don't forget the plus 4, man, for the
I thought
strength.
Great Club was bigger. No.
For the strength.
So
So,
6 plus
10
4 would be 10.
That's pretty.
What did I
That's
get?
solid.
Let me give me just a second here. All right.
Yeah, I just
So
had
you
a
can
thought, I was
see
like, wait, don't I do extra damage on crits? I never crit with this guy, so
you can see his health bar now.
Yeah.
And how many more? You said 6 more?
it's 10 altogether. The
10?
strength plus the
All right.
4.
So he's just about out with that extra hit. And now I think it's Allie's turn.
I'm just double checking rage real fast.
Allie.
Ugh.
Remember, Allie, I think you had said, or Aster, you said in the chat that you had an extra attack now. So don't
I
forget
do.
that.
I don't want to fight these people.
Yeah, and you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to. They're just fighting you. That doesn't mean you have to fight them.
Can I mean, there's shoot.
They're kicking the shit out of us, so you should probably do something. Run.
Okay, but listen.
But what if you just take the dodge action and everyone has disadvantage against you while you try and work on some kind of other resolution, like flying up in the air or something?
There's a hole
I
open
don't
for
know
you
if
to
they do
escape
that.
from before I get surrounded and pummeled to death. So go for it.
What I always like to say is think of what you want to do, not what the rules allow you to do.
Like the big thing is, like, even though she knows that something is wrong, like it's still difficult to want to fight
Yep.
these whatever they are.
So, like, if you wanted to intimidate them into listening to you, you could try something like that. If you wanted to try and persuade them, if you wanted to take one hostage, I mean, you've got all kinds of options.
The thing is, where we are right now, it doesn't seem like anything I could do or say to them is actually going to get a different like reaction. Like there's no like sympathy or like recognition. Like I don't even know
Mhm.
if these are still like the people, like whether they're under like a spell or what. So, and I
Right.
unfortunately don't know that much about.
And that's where I'm saying you don't have to treat it as if they're those people. You can treat it as they are something else or someone else. And how would you handle those something or someone else? You could help them beat up Tusk and see if they become your friends.
Yeah.
God, we are so like grossly outnumbered though. What I'll can I try to like shield Tusk so that all of them aren't just like beating on him?
Is there a defend action?
There'd be a help action.
Help? Yeah. And I can't remember what help does. Doesn't it like add 2 to a roll or something? I can't
Yeah,
remember now.
basically, it's a version of kind of like dodge, how it would impose a certain status effect on it.
Yeah. Now they've been hitting you too, Allie, but yeah. However, think of how you would want to react, and let's try and have that happen. Not worried about what the rules might be.
Right. Her big thing that she's at right now is something is going on to make them act this way, and she wants to make it stop.
Yeah, so if you wanted to use the help action, Joe, basically that player helping them would sacrifice their action and give advantage to the other player. If you wanted to interpret it that she would, if she wants to shield him,
Mm-hmm.
that she would impose a disadvantage on them. You could
Right.
rule it that way. It's
Yep.
up to you.
That would be my plan. Sounds good. Thank you.
But what do you want to do, Allie? You got this.
Allie.
Can I
what
do
feels
that
right.
and another skill check, or would that be a turn?
Since you have an extra attack, as far as I'm concerned, we'll treat it as an extra action for now, not just an extra attack. So if you want to take 2 actions like that, I'd be happy with that.
Okay, well, I definitely want to go that route with the like help protect thing.
Okay.
But also I want to try and do like one more like perception or insight just to see if, just as a last ditch effort, if there is a way to make it stop, if
Sure.
you will.
Go with whichever one is better for you, perception or insight.
Better.
All right, so the one that Tusk has been beating on, that is just about out of health, you notice there's something odd with its form. It's larger than it was, and it looks like there's some blueness in the skin, like the color blue.
Like a coding issue?
It's like it's not really a halfling.
Does it seem like a natural or like a magic thing? Or can I tell with that?
Let's say it seems like it's more natural for this magical thing.
Excellent.
Right? I mean, it's something. Yeah. So, I mean, you notice that for sure. Like, there's something up with that creature.
The Smurf in disguise.
Smurf in
Bunch of
disguise.
bunch of
Now it's up,
doppelgangers right
and
now.
again, up to you if you share that information. Or how
I'm
you
going to
would
share
share
it.
it,
It's
yeah.
it's also going to give her some kind of like free pass to feel like less bad about like
There you
possibly
go.
attacking them. It gives her a little bit more confidence to do that. But as of right now, she's still going to kind of make her goal to try and protect Tusk while she kind of gains her composure and gets ready to.
Cool. All right. Well, go ahead and end your turn, and we'll see what's up next. I think we're just back to the beginning now.
Yeah, beat on Tusk Fest.
Yeah, it is.
Fest. Let's go.
It is that.
I take half damage
I'm
on
gonna move
slashing,
this-
bludgeoning, blah blah blah.
Tell you
Let's
what
go.
I'm going to do. I'm going to rearrange what I'm doing here. I'm moving that guy over to where Marty is. Those are the ones that are working with Marty. Now I'm going to just move on to Marty's turn. Go ahead, Martin, if that
All
is
right,
your
so
real name.
Marty, seeing this here, seeing everything that's going on, would fly his 60 feet over over Allie here, and I'll just place myself like next to her,
Yeah.
on the side where we can see me and not I
Yep.
won't be on top of her. I'll yell down and be like, Allie, are we wanting to get out of here, or are we wanting to kill your friends?
She specifically, now that he's down here, she's specifically going to point out what she had saw so he can see it. I don't know if he's going to know.
So
any
you're
better
pointing
what's
at
going on.
that guy that seems like half
The
dead.
Smurf. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, and then I'll just take my fingers and I'll just finger gun and I will shoot 2 firebolts or a firebolt at him.
Okay.
All right, let me just go up. I gotta target him first here. That would probably be smarter if I did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I gotta go over to here. Attack.
Attack. Oh,
That
that's
is
gonna
a
hit. Yeah.
24,
Okay.
and then damage. 5 damage. Ew.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's enough.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna go with Tusk, Allie, and Marty. Each do a. What do I want to do here for the thing? History or. Let's just do history, I guess. That's where I
History.
want to go. Let's go with history.
You think Tusk studied history? Come on.
No.
Marty hasn't.
Turns out Tusk has the best
Yeah,
guess
you
at
better
what's
heard the
going
stories.
on. and I'm going history here because it's one of the weird ones where if you want to try and identify what a creature is, the easiest way for me to think about it is it's something you know of from your past, therefore history.
Nice.
And that's where we are. So Tusk, you recognize the being shapeshifts back into what is the native form of a doppelganger. So it is a blue, I won't say Smurf because it's not, but if you see the
La, la,
doppelganger
la, la.
from a D&D, it is kind of a like almost looks almost like Vision kind of, but blue instead of purple. But it's a regular, medium, human-sized creature once it dies and resumes its original form.
Ellie, they're not your people.
Allie is mortified.
And I guess the other thing that I would want to throw in here is anybody else other than Tusk make another history check once this is kind of revealed.
Okay.
Except for Alta, because I'm way too far away.
No, I think because you can see it now also,
All right.
and it's being pointed out.
Okay.
So I'm good with you doing that now.
17 for me.
Okay.
I just missed the big numbers.
Man.
So
that's a
once
nice
you-
bonus.
Once you realize they're doppelgangers, one of the things that you remember is doppelgangers can read the thoughts of creatures within 60 feet of them, which is why they're kind of not necessarily one step ahead of you, but could tell that you were there, whether you were visible or not. And that's how they're communicating with each other as well.
All right. Well, yeah, these are definitely not our friends here, Allie. And I will, Sabu, I did my movement, I did my stuff. I will end my turn.
So-
Villager.
Yeah, best guess here, the doppelgangers took over. And this is just their home now, but they're impersonating in order to, lure people in and take their stuff. Because doppelgangers aren't nice for whatever reason. They are neutral, but they're not nice. They're not neutral nice.
Stabby the tusk.
They're neutral opportunistic.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. And this is a big cluster of them as well, which is interesting. So at this point, having been quote unquote found out, they kind of there's a little bit of shouting between them, like it's a language you don't quite. Well, I don't know if anybody understands it. What languages do people have?
Just
Rather
infernal
than
and common
asking
for
you
me.
if you know this one, I want to ask what languages you have
Infernal and common from Marty.
because I did something special with this group.
Elvish, Gnomish, and Orc.
I think I also took Infernal and double checking.
You did. You did. We've had conversations in Infernal.
Okay.
Yep.
Allie,
That's common.
you
Orcish and
recall?
Infernal.
I mean,
Ellie just has
definitely
common and a half.
common. Yeah.
Have one.
Okay.
Nothing fancy.
So Ulset, you recognize a couple of the words that are shouted. They're in Elvish, and they're talking about retreat and regroup. And a couple of them start to move away.
Okay.
So at this point, now others did not understand this conversation, but at this point, I'm going to leave it up to Allie here. As this first villager starts to move away from you, you have the opportunity to take an attack on them or just let them go.
It seems like all of them are just kind of.
Well, some of them are starting to move away, but it's not going to be all of them. One of them is about to try and swing at Tusk. But before that happens, I'm getting a couple of them starting to move away from you. So I'm going to let that happen. And then, actually, Tusk, you'll have a shot here if you want with one guy moving away.
If he moves away, he's getting a club to the head.
All right, go
Yeah,
ahead
show.
and club Mr. Villager to your northeast to the head then. That guy, yep.
The one that says Joya. No, that's
Yeah,
Chris.
that's me.
Club and Joe. Welcome to the club,
It
Joe.
happens to me all the time. You just throw the club at him.
Do I get advantage because I
You
do
hit.
the? Oh, it already hit. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you have advantage for something, roll it because you might get a crit if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, because I used not savage attack. I used fury or whatever it is. Frenzy. I used frenzy. So I'll roll
Yeah.
again just to check. Happened once already. Maybe it'll happen again.
Nah. So just roll
No.
the damage on one of those.
It's closer, but
Yeah.
no crit. Oh well. Aw, really?
Raw. All
Fuck.
right. And then we got one that's going to attack Tusk here. Oh, I put the combat tracker in front of the attack. There it is. Hey, they miss. First miss. I guess
Yay!
they're afraid now. And then this guy who thought there was a dragon in the well is moving away. And
Hey.
this one.
Oh, no, I already did it once. No.
That's right, punk. Okay. Tusk.
It's called a great club for a reason.
So you've seen now that they're starting to move away. You didn't understand what they were shouting. But one of them still tried to hit you.
The one who tried to, stabbing at me.
Yep. That's the one directly to your south.
Well, he's the one getting my fury. So
Aw, lucky
I
guy.
have 3 hits now, and I'm going to go ahead and use what is it called? Reckless attack on him for the first one.
No
so he
reckon.
will have advantage next time. I'm hoping there is not a next time, but yeah, here we go. Great club
Great club
attack
of
with advantage.
doom. You definitely hit, yeah.
Damage.
Damn edge.
There's no advantage on damage, unfortunately.
That would be interesting. Damage advantage. We could do that sometime.
This is for frenzy, so I'm going to attack.
Yeah.
Second frenzy attack, normal. Frenzy attack is not a savage attack, unfortunately, but that still hits. That's a 23.
Yeah.
Roll those. Okay, and then my extra attack from the level up. Attack. Normal.
Oh.
Oh, and that's a whiff.
That doesn't quite hit.
Oh well, pretty good. I got a 4th-ish, maybe more.
All right, so the ones that are closer to Ulset are just headed towards the blacksmith door. Yeah, that way. And it's Ulset's turn.
So nice of you to bunch up like that for me. I'll walk over here, look at them, pull out my pipe, and say, "Boom!"
Pipe
and when I
boom.
do that, I teleport 90 feet away, so I'm gonna get.
That's like a pipe bomb, but it's a pipe boom. He's gone.
Alset's on the boat again.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
will get. I'm doing the thunder strike, thunder step. Sorry.
All
Basically, I
right.
teleport away, and when I teleport, there's a thunderous boom, and they take 3. They're going to be taking 3 to 10 points of damage, depending if they make their save.
And
It
what
is a
save?
Constitution of it's a DC 12 Constitution save.
Do you have all 3 of them targeted?
I don't. I can't even see them now because I moved out of the way.
Can you move closer? See if you can target all 3 and then roll the damage, because I think it'll prompt me to roll the saves when you do that.
Won't let me target all 3.
What if you hold shift while you target?
No, let's find out.
You can do it.
You can
Target and go.
you can select all 3, but you can't. It looks like you can't.
Yeah. Hold on a second. No, I can't. You can only target one guy.
Can you right click and target?
No, I'm just single clicking.
Because it's actually letting me right click and target multiple. So
Yeah.
just curious.
I can't
Okay.
do it.
I'll just roll them then. I wonder if it'll let me roll if I select all 3. If it'll let me roll all 3. You said Constitution?
It's Constitution DC 12, and it's half damage if they don't make it.
All right. Well, I got a 9. I got a 20. And I got a 2.
We'll
Alright.
do 2 for all of them.
So 19 points of damage for the guys that failed.
did
and
not,
I guess
okay.
10 for the 10 or 9 for the guy that made
Yep.
it.
19.
Let's see what is that? Right there.
And 19. I know how to type. I can do this. All right. So that, or anything else that happens to them? Like, are they knocked prone, moved, or anything, or is it just a boom?
No, everybody hears within 300 feet. They hear that thunderclap.
Ow. All right. So then others. Go ahead and end your turn if you're all set.
He is also.
Yes, always.
Get it? Get it? All right. So the guy who's dead isn't going to do anything. But the others are going to continue to kind of move away. And he's headed up that way.
I also yell in orc to Tusk that they're trying to retreat and regroup.
There you go. Okay.
Tell Marty.
Allie. So you don't have any next to you now, Allie.
Marty says in, what's the thing that we have that's in common?
Infernal.
Infernal.
They're trying to retreat and regroup.
I understood it.
That sounded like
Everybody's
trick or
speaking in
treat.
a different language, and Ali just kind of.
Huh?
Sounded like trick or treat and the moops.
The moops?
It's the
Common?
moops.
Speaking of the common,
It's Allie's turn.
What's too easy?
Ellie just throws her hands up and walks off.
Just looking for context clues of what the hell everybody's yelling at each other.
I mean, also you could yell that in comments to have them tell me.
I didn't want them to know that we know what's going on.
Well, I mean, they're running away. I assume
Oh.
we understand what they're doing.
They specifically spoke in Elvish, though, rather than Common.
Yeah,
True.
so.
True.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Tactics, man.
Allie, what are you doing? What do you got?
Nothing.
I
Or-
jump into the well.
So here's what I want. Let's take it from this perspective now. Are you folks going to keep attacking them or let them run and hide and then regroup yourselves?
I mean, I'm not gonna fight somebody who's not fighting me.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
if they're running
Well,
away, they're basically
Yeah,
helpless.
I'll yell down to Allie. Like, Allie, it seems like they're moving away. Do you want me to try to stop Bomar, or do you want? What do you think? This is your village.
Not anymore.
This was.
Oh, it will be her
my
village again. It will be her
I
village
mean,
again.
Tusk,
It wasn't Tusk's boat
keep on
earlier, but
fighting
it was
them
his boat
It
now.
Yeah. So where I'm going is we can drop out of combat. I can get these guys back into their buildings, and you guys can decide
Yeah,
what your
Allie's
next
just
steps
gonna
are.
basically sit down on that side of the well and just kind of throw her hands up and put her weapon away. Like I'm not gonna fight them.
Okay. All right. So as she's saying this here, Marty was making a large ice knife, and then as he sees her like below him, like sitting down, he'll just kind of like put it back, and he'll just kind of survey and make sure no one's trying to attack anybody as they're moving
Break
away.
it up and put it in your drink.
Yeah,
Does
so-
this
Yeah.
guy back off who is still stabbing at me, or
That's my point. Everyone's going to back off if you guys are going to stop trying to kill them as well. So if we can,
But him
if we
first, so
can,
if they back off
all right,
first,
then yes, him first.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
my
so-
Everybody
the
pointing finger
the
guns
reason
at
I
each
ask
other.
that is the last one who tried to move away from you, you hit him in the head with a club. Are you agreeing
Telling
not
you
to do
opportunity,
that?
come on. He could have been going after all set for all he knew. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, here's what we're going to say. We'll say that they all, they're just retreating. Now, chances are you don't want to hang around, or maybe you do want to hang around. But think of it from the perspective that if they're retreating and regrouping, that means they probably have something else up their sleeves, right? So for now, let's get you guys all together here. I'm going to drag Alset back over to the group.
Yeah, I'll float down when it's safe, and I'll still have
Yeah.
my fly concentration up, but I'll be like, so Allie, are you all right, dear?
That's a loaded question.
Tusk, my man, you look like you're a little worse for wear. Are you all right?
I'll be fine. They just caught me off guard before I could rage, so
I
I'll
understand.
be all right.
I understand here. All set, old man. You seem to know what they were saying. You understood them.
I'm a little pissed, by the way.
Perfectly clear.
All right. So then, are they retreating and are they leaving for good, or are they retreating to come and attack us again?
Oh
from
no,
the
they'll be
stronghold?
back. We should probably get out of Dodge.
All right.
Oh, did Marty kill that guy, or was he just down and they dragged him off?
I killed that guy.
There was one that, yeah, he was reduced to 0 hit points, and
Yeah, I didn't
for all
call that I
intents
was.
and purposes, he was dead.
Yeah, I intentionally tried to kill him after.
Oh, just double checking, just making sure he
Yeah,
was
I'm
still
like, all right,
crispy
so,
there or what?
Allie, I think all set is right. We might want to move on right now here, but are you? Where should we go? You know this area better than anybody.
No,
Maybe you don't have to answer that right now, but
one thing that I think is that I want to be open for Allie is to still investigate the area, but you're going to maybe need to find a different way to do it.
Yeah. Is the body of that doppelganger still like there?
Yep. I
Can
can
we like
actually just.
investigate it? Does anybody know anything really about doppelgangers? As
Let's
far
just-
as
I'll
drag it
drop.
with
I'll
us.
drop an actual doppelganger right there.
if we want to, we can move out of this. We're kind of in the open here, Allie. I'll set old man Tusk. Do you think that we should stay here and investigate
no.
this?
not right
should-
here, no.
We should leave.
Okay.
That's good.
But let's take the body.
Isn't
Well,
the
alright.
Monastery of Eagles near here somewhere?
Tusk is gonna throw him over his shoulder.
All right.
I don't know how far away we're deciding it is, but Asmar, where
All right, I'll fly up then, and I'll take a. What does the building look like, Allie? I'll fly up and I'll see if I can see where it's at.
As far as the next place where you could find anything, it's a couple of days away.
because the place where she went to obtain knighthood, Asmar, is like one of the closest big hubs to it,
Yeah.
but it's obviously not going to be
well,
right next door.
Tusk, you're good carrying that man and running quickly out of here, right?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Easily.
I'll grab onto Allie and I'll grab onto All Set, and I will fly us up and out of the area so we can get out of here quicker, since they both have smaller legs and would take longer to run.
Okay. So probably the easiest thing to do is go back out the way you came in.
Yep.
Towards the water. And on the
All
way.
right, so that's the way Joe wants us to go, so we go the other way.
Yeah, exactly. You can.
So
I'm just thinking, if you guys are going to go to a place, you should probably go to a place you know, which is someplace you've been, right?
yeah,
Anyway.
Yep. So I would say I would put on my Crimson Minotaur goggles that I have, and I would prepare to fly, and I would grab Allie and All Set, throw one of them on my back, and carry another one, and fly up and move out.
Quite a
Dibs
lot of
on the
smoking,
piggyback
right?
ride.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm a tiefling man. You can smoke with them. It's fine.
So I'm just gonna
I'm fire resistant.
I'm gonna grab everybody and move you down to the edge where Tusk is. And so you get to a safe place, and I don't have another map handy, so that's why I'm just gonna do it here. And I'm going to get rid of that guy you can see because right now there is nobody you can see. So you're all there now. The body, it is a doppelganger. It's a regular blue humanoid, and doppelgangers again. They're mind readers.
Be right back. My dog is barking.
Yeah.
1 second.
They're mind readers. They're shapeshifters. Typically, they only speak common, so it's a little different that this one spoke Elvish. And there's also since Allie, you specifically said you wanted to check out the body. You notice along the left forearm there are carvings in the skin in a language that you don't understand, but it has the stylistics of Elvish. And I'll say, can you read?
She's gonna.
You can read as well?
Yep.
Can you read?
I can read everything, but
You
I can
can.
speak
Yeah.
Elvish. No,
That's what it was. Yeah.
She'll
Okay.
immediately call all set over.
Okay. So what is carved into its arm is not a tattoo or anything. It's actually like carved in with a knife or something like that. And it just says
Ouch.
it says, "As one, we are many." And I mean, that kind of goes along with there was a bunch of doppelgangers together. Not that they're typically solitary creatures, but they don't necessarily hang out in large groups either. Within its clothing and everything, it just had regular villager outfit and 10 gold pieces in a little pouch at its waist. Nothing special at all about the dagger or shield that it carried.
Is that you would say as one we are many? Is what you said?
Yeah, it's the saying that is, or what is carved into its forearm says, in its individual words, "As one, ONE, we are many."
Is that do I recognize that as a phrase for any cults or factions around these parts or anything I would have heard of before?
Do a
Or a
history
mantra?
a history check, and when you share that with everybody, if anybody else wants to see if that's something they recognize from the background, their background or
So just
world
history.
background. I'm going with history. If you think of something else that might play into
I have
it,
like great bonuses for history, but I've been rolling like crap
Yeah.
for it.
look, when you roll a 2 and you still got a 9, you didn't do
yeah.
all that bad, right?
Hey.
Allie,
There we
oh
go.
my gosh.
I'm not gonna bother rolling.
Nah, yeah, don't even bother rolling.
Allie
Kicked it
remembers
off.
everything that Ulset's ever forgotten. So there was not too far from here, maybe within a few days, there was an elvish town in the trees, and one of the things that they used to have as a saying within that elvish town was, "As one, we are many," and that again, it's elvish on the arm of the doppelganger, and maybe they have an alliance with the elves or something. There's something odd going there, but it's definitely from the elvish town, wood elves among the trees.
Or they took that
Probably
over
within
too.
probably within 2 to 3 days to the east of where you are now, inland. Because you can't have an elvish city in the trees if you're over the water.
She'll definitely share that.
It's one of those weird
information
things.
with everyone.
Yeah. And there's the one other thing. So we went over. It's got the clothing. It's got the plain weapons. There were 10 gold pieces in a pouch at his belt, and on his
Taking the
back,
gold if nobody cares.
yeah, 10 gold pieces go. On his back, next to the sign that says "Kick Me," is another sign that says the end of the episode.
Hey,
Hey.
But nobody
Hi-yo.
kicked him, so does that mean? No, I don't know.
Oh, we could start kicking them.
Everybody, just start kicking this biatch. Cool.
Kick them.
So one of the things I think
Awesome.
we want to look at more, like I was saying, was more investigation of this town of Bellshire, but it just has to be, I think it just needs to be in a different way. instead of just walking into town, now you need to find maybe a more clandestine way of investigating, because you know what's in there now. But that will probably be our
Are we
next
werewolves?
step.
Let's go.
Yeah, bring the werewolves in at night, just wreck the place.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Hey guys, I
We
got
won't
your
see
first
them for like
assignment.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
These guys can be handy in a tight spot.
yeah, there you go. All
Not too
right.
far away. Let's send a pelican or something.
So we got that, but for now we're
Prometheus.
gonna wrap this one up, and we can all say bye
Bye-bye. Hey, Alistair, your homecoming was one double banger.
Ah!